Hi, I have a 2013 Ram 1500 limited truck, which did not come with CarPlay support. So I installed the Nifty City unit, and this is a review of that. I have a separate video with the installation information. The unit I bought had the upgrade from 2 gigs of RAM to 3 gigs, as well as wireless CarPlay support. So let's go ahead and get into the review. All right, let's go ahead and start up the truck here. And you'll see it'll start right up in CarPlay, because that's where I left it. And my phone's here in the truck with me, right? So, all right. So I'm gonna go through different things that different bits of feedback. First thing I want to show just kind of quickly is switching between the Uconnect radio and CarPlay. So there's this little clicker that they give you. So if you click it once, it switches into the regular truck controls. If you press and hold it for a few seconds, it switches back into the CarPlay mode. I wanted to talk about the just in general some of the different things. First off, the Nifty City support people were very responsive, so they got back to me very quickly. Any questions I had, so I want to say great job on that. In general, the CarPlay stuff here works as expected, right? So different apps, depending on what you have installed, show up. I'm not going to talk too much about that because that stuff just works, right? So I don't want to sound negative, but I'm going to talk about the things that were not as expected or maybe didn't work quite right. So first thing you'll notice is the icons themselves are a little bit stretched. So I'm not sure if you can tell or not, but vertically, basically, they're not squares, right? And that kind of carries throughout all the different things in here. So if you look at the music or whatever, everything's a little bit vertically stretched. It's not bad. And in fact, I kind of stopped noticing it. I noticed it a lot at first, but after that, not really. The other thing is the icon here says Jeep, and of course this is a Ram truck. And the other thing related to that is normally when you press that, you would go back to the factory controls. In this case, what happens is you actually go to the Nifty City setup, and there's some different things you can set up here, and then you can go back to CarPlay. Okay, just a difference that I noticed. Let's see, let's talk a little bit about the steering wheel control. So the volume controls, there's the buttons here behind here for volume, and on this side for previous and next song. And the volume buttons work with music, but the previous and next song do not. So again, just something that didn't quite work as I expected. But in the end, it's not a big deal. You just press these buttons for previous and next song. So. Let's see what else. When I was setting this up, originally I started setting it up as, like I said, I got the wireless support, but I started setting up as wired, and every time I plugged in my phone, I had to disconnect and reconnect. They have this little audio jack, little nub they have to plug in there, and I kept having to do that. I switched over to using it wirelessly, and I've not had any problems. So I would say, not sure what to say there, just that the wirelessly it's been working fine, so no problems there. Last couple of things. One thing is that I noticed when you change the volume during driving directions that there's only one volume for both media playback and driving directions playback. And in other cars I've used, if you adjust the volume while Siri's giving you driving directions, let's say you adjust the volume down, that she'll continue to give you the volume or the driving directions a little quieter. Whereas in this case, there's only one volume for both media and Siri directions. And then the last kind of note is that for the music, I found the audio to be very bass heavy. Now, you can go in here and you can adjust. What I did is I just went in here in the setup, and they have an EQ and they have different patterns. But I just set this up to be, not so bass heavy. As kind of a bit of a workaround. And music sounds okay. I don't say it's not. To me, car music is always a little bit. It's not going to be the best quality anyway. But anyway, it works fine. But that was something I felt like I had to do because it just sounded different on here than it did without that. So, and that's my overall just kind of feedback or just kind of notes on usage. Overall, it's been great. I really enjoy having the CarPlay functionality, especially the maps, but also messages and phone, all those things just working. So yeah, overall, it's been really great.